You know what really sets Maddy Perez apart? It's not that she's trying to be the center of attention, it's that she genuinely doesn't care if she is, and somehow, that's exactly why she becomes it. And be honest for a second, when you walk into a room, are you leading your energy, or are you checking the room first? Like, do you immediately start thinking, do they like me? Am I doing too much? Should I tone it down? Because most people do. They shrink, adjust, soften themselves just enough to be accepted. And it's subtle, but it's constant. Maddy doesn't do that. She's not asking for permission to exist the way she wants. She walks in like the room can figure her out if it wants to, but she's not changing for it. And that's the difference. She's not performing confidence. She's detached from needing approval in the first place. And let's talk about attention, because this is where most people completely lose their power without realizing it. Tell me this, are you the type to reply instantly, double text, keep the conversation going even when it's clearly dying? Like you feel responsible for keeping things interesting so the other person doesn't lose interest? Yeah, that right there. That's overgiving. And the more you do it, the less valuable your attention feels. Not because you're not valuable, but because you're making yourself too available. Maddy doesn't do that. She'll see you, she'll acknowledge you, but that doesn't mean you automatically get access to her time, her energy, her presence. And that might sound harsh, but think about it. What do people usually value more? Something they get instantly, whenever they want, or something they have to step up for? Exactly. Her attention feels expensive, and people act accordingly. Now here's where it gets even more real. Be honest, have you ever said yes to something you didn't even want to do, just because you didn't want to seem rude? Or you said no, but then immediately followed it with a whole explanation just to soften it? I'm sorry, I just have a lot going on. Maybe another time. I feel bad, but, like, why are you apologizing for your own boundaries? That's the part nobody wants to admit. We're so scared of being disliked that we start negotiating with ourselves. But Maddy? If it's a no, it's just no. Clean. No extra words, no guilt, no overthinking. And that kind of energy? It forces people to take you seriously. Because the moment you start over-explaining, you're basically telling people your decision is flexible. And trust me, people will test that every time. And let's talk about reactions, because this is where the real shift happens. When someone disrespects you, or tries to get a reaction out of you, what do you usually do? You explain, you defend, you prove your point, you give them exactly what they wanted. And now they control the situation. Maddy doesn't play that game. She's not reacting just because someone expects her to. She can stay calm, quiet, almost unbothered, and that drives people insane. Because now they don't know how to read her. And that's power. Not loud, dramatic power, but controlled, intentional energy that doesn't move unless it wants to. And no, that doesn't mean she doesn't feel anything. It means she's not letting everyone have access to those emotions. And here's the part that really changes everything. She doesn't move like this because she thinks she's better than everyone. She moves like this because she's not desperate for anything. Not attention, not validation, not approval. And that's a hard truth because most people are. That's why they chase, explain, overgive, overreact. But when you start detaching from that need even a little, you notice something shift. You stop trying to convince people to stay. You stop trying to be chosen. And instead, you become someone people have to step up for. So really think about it. Where are you giving too much? Where are you reacting too fast? Where are you explaining things that don't need explaining? Because the IGF energy isn't about being rude or cold. It's about being so solid in yourself that you don't feel the need to prove, chase, or perform for anyone. And once you get even a little bit of that right, everything about the way people see you starts to change. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because a lot of people look at Maddy Perez and think her power comes from attitude, looks, or just being that girl. But if you really pay attention, it's not any of that, it's positioning. She doesn't force situations. She places herself in a way where people respond to her. And I want you to think about your own life for a second. Are you constantly trying to make things happen, or are you becoming someone things naturally happen around? Because those are two completely different energies. One is chasing, the other is attracting. And most people stay stuck in chasing without even realizing it. They text first, plan everything, overinvest early, and then wonder why the energy isn't being matched. But the moment you start valuing your presence like it actually matters, you stop overextending it. You stop trying to prove why you're worth someone's time, and you start observing who's actually worth yours. And this doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing, it means you become intentional. There's a difference. Maddy knows how to use what she has: her presence, her style, her energy, and she lets that speak before she ever has to explain anything. And no, this isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. Everyone has something that makes them stand out, but most people hide it because they're too busy trying to fit in. So let me ask you, what's your thing? Is it your voice, your style, your mindset, your creativity? Or are you downplaying it because you think it's too much? Because the truth is, the moment you stop dimming yourself to make other people comfortable, you automatically become more noticeable. Not because you're louder, but because you're real. And then there's confidence, real confidence, not the loud, forced version, but the quiet kind that doesn't need validation to exist. And here's the part people don't like hearing: it doesn't always start as real. A lot of the time, it's practiced. It's choosing to carry yourself a certain way even when you don't fully feel it yet. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a situation feeling insecure, but you forced yourself to stand straight, speak clearly, hold eye contact, and suddenly people responded differently? That's not fake, that's training. That's you teaching yourself a new standard. And over time, that becomes natural. Maddy embodies that idea perfectly. She moves like she belongs, so people treat her like she does. It's that simple and that complicated. But let's not ignore the reality here, because not everything about her mindset is healthy. And this is where you have to be smart. Confidence can come from strength, but it can also come from defense. Sometimes that "I don't care" energy is actually "I've been hurt before, so I'm not letting anyone get close enough to do it again." And if you copy that blindly, you don't become powerful, you become disconnected. So the real goal isn't to become cold or untouchable. It's to become selective. To know when to open up and when to hold back. To know when something deserves your energy and when it doesn't. That balance? That's where real power is. And let me ask you something. How often do you feel like you have to prove yourself? Prove you're interesting, prove you're worth staying for, prove you're enough? Because the moment you step into that mindset, you've already lowered your position. You've already decided that someone else gets to determine your value. Maddy doesn't move like that. She assumes her value first and lets people meet her there. And that doesn't mean everyone will like you. Some people won't. Some people will misunderstand you, judge you, even walk away. But that's the trade-off. You can either be liked by everyone and respected by no one, or you can be selective, solid, and respected by the right people. And this is where everything starts to shift, because once you stop chasing validation, you start noticing who's actually giving it willingly. Once you stop over-explaining, people start listening more carefully. Once you stop reacting instantly, situations lose their control over you. It's not about becoming someone else, it's about removing the habits that make you smaller than you actually are. And yeah, it takes practice. You're not going to wake up one day and suddenly have that unbothered, confident energy. It's built in moments. In the pause before you respond. In the decision to say no without explaining. In choosing not to text back immediately just because you can. In holding eye contact a second longer instead of looking away. Small shifts, but they stack. So if you take anything from this, let it be this: your power isn't in doing more, saying more, or proving more. It's in deciding what deserves access to you. It's in how you carry yourself when no one is validating you. It's in trusting that you don't have to chase what's meant for you. Because the moment you start moving like that, people feel it. They might not be able to explain it, but they feel it. And that's the kind of presence you can't fake forever. You build it, step by step, until it becomes who you are. Alright, now I want to hear from you. Who should I break down next? Drop a name, could be a character, a celebrity, anyone with that powerful energy, and I might turn it into the next deep dive.